For centuries she's been wrapped in mystery. Makeda, the Queen of Sheba. In scripture, she dazzled King Solomon with wisdom and wealth. In legend, she became a symbol of divine grace and beauty. But behind the shimmering myths lies a deeper story, one of power, trade, diplomacy, and legacy. Today, we journey beyond the legends to uncover the real-world impact of the woman who may have ruled one of the richest kingdoms of the ancient world. Long before the Silk Road, there was another network that made empires rise, the trade of frankincense and myrrh. These fragrant resins were the lifeblood of ancient rituals, used in temples and palaces from Egypt to Babylon. And at the heart of this trade stood Saba, a kingdom in modern-day Yemen, believed by many to be Makeda's realm. This was no desert backwater, it was a thriving crossroads of commerce. Saba controlled trade routes that connected Africa, Arabia, and the Mediterranean. Some historians suggest that Makeda, as its ruler, was not merely a figure of beauty, but a shrewd economic strategist who turned her land into a global hub of wealth. Her caravans stretched for miles, loaded with gold, spices, ivory, and aromatic treasures that shaped the world's earliest economies. Around the 10th century BCE, the ancient world was a web of rival powers, Egypt in decline, Israel under Solomon's rule, and Arabia rising in influence. In this volatile setting, diplomacy was as valuable as gold. When Makeda journeyed to meet Solomon, it might not have been a tale of romance, but of strategy. She wasn't a queen chasing wisdom. She was a leader negotiating alliances. The exchange of riddles could have symbolized the exchange of knowledge, architecture, astronomy, governance, and trade policies. This encounter, preserved in both Ethiopian and biblical traditions, likely marked one of the earliest recorded diplomatic exchanges between Africa and the Middle East. And through these interactions, ideas moved, from architecture inspired by Arabian temples to agricultural techniques that crossed deserts and seas. Makeda's influence, though veiled in legend, may have quietly shaped the innovations that bridged continents. Makeda's story did not end with her reign. Her name became woven into the national identities of Ethiopia and Yemen. In Ethiopia, she is revered as the mother of Menelik I, the founder of the Solomonic dynasty that ruled for nearly 3,000 years. In Yemen, her legacy echoes in the grand architecture of Marib, the ancient Sabaean capital known for its dam, an engineering marvel of the ancient world. Even in art and oral tradition, her image endures, a queen draped in wisdom and power, whose rule embodied balance, prosperity, and vision. Archaeological evidence of her era, inscriptions, temples, and trade records, hint that beneath the legend there truly was a kingdom led by a woman of remarkable authority. But history often forgets its women. Makeda's story, like so many others, has been filtered through foreign texts, reshaped by faith and diluted by time. Yet, every new discovery, every Sabaean inscription, every unearthed temple, brings us closer to understanding her world. Archaeologists continue to search the deserts of Yemen and the highlands of Ethiopia for clues that could separate the queen from the myth. And perhaps that's what makes her story timeless. Makeda represents more than a name in scripture. She is a symbol of African power, diplomacy, and intellect long before the rise of Western empires. So next time you hear the legend of the Queen of Sheba, look beyond the gold and riddles. Behind the myth stands a woman who helped shape the crossroads of the ancient world, a queen whose real-world influence still whispers through history's sands.